Omaha area. Now we've got this tornado warning. Obviously radar indicated, but this is our first tornado warning of the afternoon. And as we've proven here in the Lincoln Metro, you don't need to have a tornado to have damaging winds and winds that do significant damage to your location. So that's what we're dealing with at this point. So we'll widen out the view. People that aren't familiar, Pottawatomie and Harrison counties are in Iowa. So some of those counties affected or impacted by that tornado warning are actually in Iowa, but you can see that thunderstorm line continuing to work its way into the Omaha Metro, and now we've got that tornado warning for that particular area with the storms continuing to track off towards the north and east. So we're going to continue to monitor this. It's really this cluster of storms continues to impact east central southeastern portions of the state, and very little to the west of there. We're seeing a little bit of redevelopment now south of the Tri-Cities near the Nebraska-Kansas line, but nothing anywhere near severe at this point. So we've got this cluster of storms in east central southeastern Nebraska, and then some of those severe storms across northern Kansas.
Bill should be good to go.
We think, okay, so we're going to, I think at this minute, send you over to meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the streaming studio here at 1011. So Bill, where?
Well, yeah, Ken, like you mentioned, one of the most destructive windstorms that we've probably seen here in Lancaster County in quite some time. Have several things I'd like to show everyone. First, again, this is just video that we've seen submitted to the newsroom of the damage that we've seen of the wind that moved through the area. And again, I can report at my own house, my wife has been texting me, multiple trees down. Ken, like you mentioned, we had multiple power flashes that we could see from Skyview. So again, this is a very destructive windstorm that we had moved through. If I punch up, this is the LES power outage map. And currently, right now, the update is a little over 21,000 customers, LES customers in Lincoln, and you can see spread out basically all over Lincoln, currently without power. So there's a lot going on in terms of power outages and tree damage. If I punch up here, we have one of our coworkers, Sean Wheat, who's currently driving around town. Again, he's headed towards Air Park, and he's driven by numerous trees down and things of that nature. We've also seen, again, roofs come off top of buildings. Again, we mentioned the hotel. There's the Midas near 70th and O. So again, there's been a lot that's been going on and is going to continue to go on as we head through the rest of this evening. But Ken, like you've mentioned, the worst of it is through Lincoln now. But again, that doesn't mean that it's done. There are still folks from up near Blair down through the Omaha Metro, Plattsmouth, Nebraska City, that are still going to be dealing with extremely damaging winds as these storms continue to move through. But again, just bringing the video back up. This is a viewer-submitted video that we've seen. Again, if you have video or pictures you'd like to send us, again, please do so. Please do so safely. You can submit all that either through the 1011 app or the 1011 weather app, which are, again, great resources to use on severe weather days like today. But again, just an extremely destructive storm that has pushed through Lincoln and Lancaster County, and one that we'll likely be picking up from for quite some time. So again, lots of pictures, lots of video coming into the newsroom, Ken, and again, like I mentioned, according to LES, over 21,000 people currently without power right now in Lincoln. So we're going to continue to monitor things. We'll continue to again look for more viewer submitted material, and we're going to continue to bring that to you. But for Ken, we're going to continue to kind of put pieces back together here. So Ken, we'll go ahead and toss it back to you for right now as we continue this coverage, as these storms have almost pushed out of the coverage area, but still again threatening some folks across extreme east central sections of the state. You may.
Of the Lincoln Metro moved into towards the Omaha area, as well as bigger portions of Cass and Otoe County. So what we're going to do at 9 minutes now till 6 o'clock is I think we're going to send you back to regular programming. We're going to get have a chance to regroup here and make sure we've got all our weather ducks in a row. But again, that line of thunderstorms, as it moved through Lincoln, has done copious amounts, tremendous amounts of damage, dropped significant rains, all kinds of tree damage, roof damage to structures here in the city. Over 20,000 people without power right now in the Lincoln metro area. And again, the worst is over. Good news for us, bad news for folks downstream, because they're going to have to deal with these storms that had destructive winds over 80 miles per hour. So at this point, into the newsroom, the 1011 newsroom, the 1011 streaming desk, we've had no reports of injuries at this point. That doesn't mean that there aren't some, or that we may update that information. But right now, again, almost a miracle to go through this kind of damage and this kind of a weather event and not see something like that. So we'll hope that that continues to be the case as we move a little bit deeper into the evening hours. But for right now, just before 6 o'clock, we're going to take a minute to send you back to programming, update everything, regroup, and we'll be back with you for the 1011 news at 6. So thank you for bearing with us. Keep it tuned to 1011. We'll keep you updated.
All right, that was, again, Chief Meteorologist Ken Shimmick, again, with a lengthy cut in there, a lengthy severe weather update as, again, we have a significant amount of damage across the Lincoln and Lancaster County area as very damaging winds push through the region over the last hour or so. Again, there we are. Got myself back on camera. Again, this is the current radar loop, though, right now. Again, this is the current radar image, and we still have numerous severe thunderstorm warnings and even a tornado warning that's currently in place, again, just off to the east of Lincoln and Lancaster County. So if we kind of run you through some of these warnings, the one tornado warning is for radar indicated rotation. This is for portions of Douglas, Harrison, Pottawatomie, and Washington counties. But again, I can go down the list here with numerous severe thunderstorm warnings with winds that are going to be anywhere from 70 to 80 miles an hour being possible. And this is going to include the Omaha Metro, Plattsmouth, down towards Nebraska City. So again, these winds continue to be very intense with this line of thunderstorms. Again, on the radar itself, these thunderstorms don't look overly impressive, but again, they are packing a serious punch right now. So again, kind of going through some of the elements that we still have in place that we want to make sure we show everyone. And first, again, I'm going to punch in. We have the LES power outage map, and that's what we're seeing on screen right now. And as of the latest update, and I'm going to see if I can refresh this here, but it was a little over 21,000 customers, LES customers, that are currently without power. And again, you can see on the map there, it is all over the Lincoln metro area. So it's not just one side of town that got hit the hardest. It is across the entire Lincoln metro area that got hit. Danielle, did you look at Norris Public Power at all? Okay. And I'm sure for many other customers across the area, again, whether it's Norris Public Power or whoever else it might be, again, numerous power outages across the area. Also now currently looking at the sort of meld of severe weather submissions that we had sent in, again, from viewers. Again, if you can safely, please send us that video. We'll always take it. But again, numerous trees down, power lines down. We saw multiple power flashes across the area, and this is a storm that we're going to be cleaning up from for a good long while. Okay, about 3,600 customers for Norris Public Power currently without power right now, and that's mostly across Lancaster County, but it does look like northern Saline and southern Seward and some northern Gage County customers there without power as well. So again, that's something that we're going to keep a close eye on here over the next really for the rest of this evening, really. Really quickly, I want to punch up. We have a colleague of ours, Sean Wheat, who's currently driving around Lincoln right now. Again, he's just got his phone up there on the dashboard, so make sure he's safe. But again, we have seen him drive by numerous trees down. Doesn't look like any damage where he's at right now. I know he said he was driving towards the Air Park area, so northwestern Lincoln. And again, don't see anything right there on his feed right there. But we have seen over the past 10 or 15 minutes as he's been driving through town, again, that same story. Numerous power outages, numerous trees down, power lines down, and things like that. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on his speed for you there as well. Again, coming up here in just a few minutes is we're going to have our 6 o'clock newscast, and so we'll make sure to obviously stream that to you live. And so as this severe weather threat continues to wind down, still ongoing for portions of far eastern sections of the state. Again, we have this line stretching from up near Blair through the Omaha metro right now, through Plattsmouth and down towards Nebraska City. These storms, again, can still threatening many folks in extreme east central Nebraska. But again, if we put this into loop mode, we can see these storms pretty quickly racing to the east again right now, beginning to push over the Missouri River into parts of western Iowa. So that is at least some good news. So again, just a couple minutes here. We're going to have the 6 o'clock newscast, so we'll go ahead and let our stream kind of come to an end in that regard. Oh, it looks like maybe Sean Wheat's trying to get my attention. I'm going to really quickly pull him up, and I'm going to pull his audio up so we can hear Sean, and he can give us a little bit of a live report. Sean, can you tell us maybe what you're seeing and what you've seen as you've been driving through town?
Sure. And Bill, I'm actually at Air Park. I'm on 48th and we're getting up to night. And as you can see here, you can see a lot of debris in the roadway. I'm actually at West Mathis and 48th, and I'm just going to kind of turn around here because there's a completely large tree snapped apart. I'm going to turn around so you can see it here. And there it is. Right in front of me, a large tree snapped at 48th and Mathis, and that completely snapped off. I wish I could get it a little bit more into tune for you there, but there are power lines down. And that's a very, you can't tell from this video, but it's a very large trunk too. So it did it at the halfway point of the top of the tree to down to the base of it. So it looks like it missed homes, but it took down several power lines. It's actually resting on a power line right now. And this is the damage that I'm seeing in Air Park that has probably been reported. But I do see that the Lincoln Police Department is out here. They are directing traffic around it. And Bill, you're going to want to grab a photo of that image if you can, because I can't do a photo and this at the same time. But I'm going to move a little further down here into Air Park. And you'll see LPS, I'm not LPS, I'm sorry, but it looks like actually Highway Patrol blocking another tree, another roadway here where more power lines are down. That's Nebraska State Patrol. And there are several power lines down along 48th Street leading into Air Park neighborhood. So if you are driving into Air Park, you're going to want to take it extra close, extra carefully. But I know you got a 6 o'clock newscast. So Bill, I'll let you get ready for that.
All right, appreciate it, Sean. Real quick, I'll ask you, though, because, again, you started out this trip, you were over like 56th and Nebraska Parkway. Again, can you kind of tell us what you saw on just the drive kind of on Nebraska Parkway?
Nebraska Parkway wasn't too bad. There were a couple of traffic lights that were out, but there wasn't any significant damage other than some tree limbs down. Nothing that seemed like it was significant like that tree that you just saw in the video, but there were some tree limbs down throughout that area. I will also say that being as busy as Nebraska Parkway is, you're going to want to take it and treat it as a four-way stop. Do not approach those traffic lights and just speed right through them, because people are just going through them like it's a normal day. Here's another tree down right here.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm in the Air Park area. As you can see, it completely snapped at the base there. That's just one of them. There's a couple more trees down here to my left. I don't think you can see them because of my mount, but I do see some trees that got pretty close to homes. But talking about Nebraska Parkway, treat those traffic lights that are out as four-way stops, not to speed through them, because it could potentially cause a wreck. But otherwise, I did see going into downtown off of 10th Street, several tree limbs down along the side of the roadway too, basically between Van Dorn and O Street. But as of right now, It's just it's a matter of cleanup. Everybody's trying to get out, look at things. That's the other thing I'm seeing is folks are out looky-looing at this point, causing traffic jams and problems. I know I'm doing it, but I'm doing it so you don't want to or have to. So please, if you don't have to be on the roadway right now, the best thing to do is to stay home and let us show you the images. Here's another tree down in the roadway here, just in front of me. You can see it doesn't look like it's too big. I would say about 2-3 inches in diameter, as you can see in the road there. And I'm going to try to get back over to that Mathis area on the other side to see if there's any other damage on that end. But it looks like that, Air Park has been hit pretty hard. And more tree limbs down, I would say, here than I am seeing throughout town. But you've also got less buildings in this area compared to in town, where there are more buildings. I mean, for example, here, looks like this house just missed, that tree limb just missed that car there. But it's looking almost like a tornado moved through, but we know that they were straight line winds and up to 80 miles per hour. I mean, more tree limbs down in front of this home here. We've got, it's almost difficult to drive through some of this area here. I may have to ask the boss for some new tires after this one.
Well, Sean, I appreciate you again jumping in here and again showing us some of the pictures and the video. We have another reporter live shot up. This is looking at the Earl May. This has got to be near the 70th and O intersection. Is right now the video that we're currently looking at from. Again, right there near the 70th and O, we had the report of I believe it was the Midas Tire Shop, or at least a roof blown off of some shop there near 70th and O. So again, this is going to be kind of the images that we see likely for the next couple days. Again, this will take a while to get it all kind of cleaned up and get things put back together. Again, thankfully, as bad as it was, though, I certainly think it probably could have been a lot worse. But this is definitely on the border of just bad enough.
Yeah, it definitely is. And hopefully folks are taking the warnings that ahead of the storm. I know our sister stations in Omaha are now getting through it. But one thing I would recommend, though, and I hate to repeat this, but just stay home. Stay off the roadways. They are pretty congested as it is. And on top of that, crews have to get out now. They have to assess the damage. You're going to have power crews that come out and here's that the law enforcement blocking off roadways because power lines are across the roadways. But even Mathis over here and 48th Street, as you can see, that's a tree that completely snapped in half. Looks like 2 large trunks snapped in half, and it is just going to be it's going to be hard for them to get out if they have to worry about battling folks and space to get to these scenes. So just stay home if at all possible this evening. And if you had any plans, make sure you postpone them. I know that the Y, they canceled baseball for this evening. My son had a game and got the word that was canceled. I'm actually approaching now also Adams and 48th where there is no power. So that means another traffic light without power. So again, treat these as 4-way stops.
All right. Well, Sean, you get home safe. I'm going to jump into our 6 o'clock newscast here, which just started a couple minutes ago, so we can get some of the latest live reports from them. But appreciate it, Sean, as always. Appreciate your time, and get home safe, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Brandon was keeping an eye on that. So you see the winds there causing so much havoc all across the capital city.
Okay.
All right, we're going to shift now to Capitol coverage and the special session aimed at slashing property taxes in Nebraska. One of the bills that's been introduced would allow online sports betting across the state, but it's receiving pushback from some big names like Pete Ricketts and Tom Osborne. The bill, introduced by State Senator Elliot Bostar, would allow licensed casino operators to offer the gambling platform and also change the distribution of taxes that are collected from sports gambling.
Yes,
right now, 70% of the tax revenue made goes toward the state's property tax relief fund. This new bill would up that number to 90%. Bostar also put forth a constitutional amendment to legalize online sports gambling.
Where's my teams?
Nebraska is currently missing out on a $1.6 billion state industry and $32 million in annual tax revenue, which instead goes to neighboring states like Iowa, Colorado, Kansas, and Wyoming.
And when you can pick up your phone or get on a computer and bet as much as you want, as quickly as you want, I can guarantee you that there will be increased addiction.
Osborne, as well as others like former Governor Pete Ricketts, also penned a letter against that bill saying, quote, online sports betting can lead to new people developing gambling disorders, puts young men in the addiction bullseye, and will take money away from Main Street, Nebraska businesses. We urge members of the Nebraska unicameral to reject these bills.
And Ukrainian farmers must continue their work dodging Russian mines and bombs. 1011's John Grinvalds took an independent trip there in May, and he saw that firsthand. For Victor Zeverez, every day is a balancing act, making sure his workers and dairy cows stay safe. His farm is just about 30 miles or so from the front lines, and it endured occupation when Russia first launched its full-scale invasion more than 2 years ago. The farm meant freedom for him, and now it is mostly in ruins.
I cannot explain in my words. It's excruciating pain. See so much damage, so much destruction to something that you put so much energy.
Now Victor is making do with what he has, even as many of his cows were killed by bombing raids. We will have that full 1011 exclusive, part of a multi-part series, War-Torn Stories in Ukraine, coming up tonight at 10. And before we head to break, we are continuing to track the fallout from this windstorm that ravaged parts of Lincoln, really most of the city. Again, downed trees and power lines. We're going to check in with some of